Adaptations. My name is Jack.
And I'm Alton.
And this is a stream table. A stream table simulates a real stream, but on a much smaller scale.
So we can use it to explore 3 different microhabitats in a freshwater ecosystem and the adaptations of some of the creatures that live there.
The first habitat we're going to be looking at today is a riffle. A riffle is characterized by shallow water that flows quickly over rocks and is usually higher in oxygen than other parts of the stream. This means that an animal living in a riffle is going to need to be able to resist the high flow of water and be able to cling onto rocks. An example of this is the stonefly nymph, which is very flat and has long extending arms that can grab onto rocks really well.
The second habitat we're going to be looking at is the pool. Pools tend to have deeper water and stiller waters than the riffle. They also tend to have lower oxygen content.
An animal who lives in the pool is going to need to be a good swimmer so it can maneuver the deeper water and avoid the other things that live there. An example of this is the razorback sucker, which is a fish with a strong tail that allows it to swim well through the deep water and catch its prey.
The third habitat we're going to look at is the wetland. Wetlands exist between the boundary of water, such as a stream, and the land. This means that animals that live there are suited to both. An example of this is the green tree frog, who lays its eggs in the vegetation that is really common to wetlands and lives its entire life cycle in different parts of the wetland.
Now, in your groups of 3, take your paper and your writing utensil to draw your very own stream, including the riffle, the pool, and the wetland.
Teachers, you can pause in 3, 2, 1, pause.
Welcome back! Now that you have your own stream complete with 3 habitats, we need you to figure out the animals that live in each one of those habitats. Now you should do this by their adaptations.
Now remember, adaptations occur over lots of generations, where random changes in the traits of a species help them to survive in their ecosystem.
So, here's what we're going to do. There are 6 animals and 3 habitats, and it's your job to figure out which animals go in which habitat.
The animals are the water penny beetle, the leech, the common snapping turtle, the mosquito larva, the freshwater mussel, and the blue-winged teal.
So, now that you know the animals, you can pause the video and draw them in the habitat which you think they belong.
If your map looks like this, then good job, you got it right.
The water penny beetle is in the riffle habitat because it is very flat and rounded, while also having legs that allow it to hang on to rocks. The freshwater mussel is similar because it is also flat and rounded and can cling on to rocks.
In the pool, we have the leech and the mosquito larvae. The leech is a strong swimmer and uses its long and relatively powerful tail to propel itself through the deep water. The mosquito larva also uses its swimming ability, using its long, cylindrical body to swim through the still water. In the wetland, we have the common snapping turtle and the blue-winged teal. Both of these animals use both the land and the water, and rely on the vegetation for parts of their life cycle and their reproductive cycle. For example, the common snapping turtle burrows in the mud during the colder winter months. So now you know about 3 microhabitats found along a freshwater stream and some of their characteristics.
And you know how some of the animals that live within those habitats have adapted to be able to thrive.
For a follow-up activity, you can draw or make with recycled materials your own stream creature, like this one you see here. Make sure to give it some adaptations that allow it to live in one of the freshwater environments that we discussed today.